How you doing?
Jake, you are no stranger to this, so when you are ready and your judges are ready, you know what to do. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. Evan, my dog, can I give him music? We all good? What? Let's take a deep breath. Time. In order to grow, we must be open to change. This is a relatively simple idea, but I see it everywhere around me. The more that I think about it, the more that I realize how much deep impact it has on my life. So over the next 3 courses, we're going to look at this idea that in order to grow, we must be open to change. We're going to see how it affects 3 different entities and every drink served here today. Let's get into it. So today I have the absolute honor and privilege of serving you a washed Pacamara from Jhonatan Gasca. Excuse me, a natural Pacamara from Jhonatan Gasca. Grown at 1,800 meters above sea level in Bruxelles, Colombia. This is one of my favorite coffees on earth. It is an absolute privilege whenever I get to serve it to people. So thank you for being here. Whether you look at it this way or not, you are helping create a special moment for me. So I just deeply appreciate that. So Jhonatan was the son of a coffee producer, but he never planned on working in coffee. He wanted to be a soccer star. Sadly, an ACL injury took those dreams from him. But Jhonatan was open to change. So he called up his dad, took over the family farm. A friend of his offered his Pacamara to grow, which he was initially reluctant to. He thought it was too big and he didn't know how to grow it. But he was open to change. And because Jhonatan was open to change, we get to be the ones who benefit by tasting this absolutely beautiful coffee today. If y'all haven't quite caught on by now, the theme that I'm working with today is, in order to grow, we must be open to change. But I will only say those words incredibly purposefully from here on out. And it's going to elicit response from y'all. So I'm going to be up here doing my thing. We're going to break protocol in every single round. I would like for you to visually enjoy the beverage, or visually analyze, but not enjoy it until you hear me say the words, in order to grow, we must be open to change. So I think you got it, but we have waters there in front of you. Could we do a practice round with the waters and see how it goes? Perfect. So I'll be up here doing my thing, and I'll say, judges, in order to grow, we must be open to change. Got it. Thank you. So not only is this coffee a natural Pacamara, it is also yeast inoculated and thermal shock. Yeast inoculation is where Jhonatan will harvest the cherry after it reaches peak ripeness and then spray it with a very specific yeast substrate. This yeast substrate is going to do 2 things. It kickstarts fermentation, but it also pushes the profile of the coffee more towards where Jhonatan wants it. And then secondly, it does the thermal shock, and that is where the coffee itself is open to growing and changing. Jhonatan will submerge the coffee into hot water, which opens up all of the pores in the cell structure. Then we'll flush it with cold water, which crashes the pores back into place, and it captures all of the sugars that are really volatile during fermentation. So it was a little bit difficult for me to wrap my head around what was happening in thermal shock until I tried it with something familiar. So at home, I took blueberries and submerged them in hot water for 90 seconds, and then plunged them into cold water for 90 more seconds. And the effect was mind-bending to me. So I wanted to share that with y'all. On your plate, on the left, you have a fresh blueberry, and on the right, you have a thermal shock blueberry. If you would like, I invite you to try both of those so that you can see how the thermal shock changes the sugar structure of those. And then when you're all done, you can refresh your palate with the water provided. Today I've pulse distributed, which uses vibration to send a vibration through the puck, which ensures even particle density. And I've also compound chilled. Compound chilling does a very similar thing to thermal shock. It captures all of those volatile organic compounds. The result of all of this is an absolutely stunning coffee. We're gonna go ahead and write down flavor notes. You should be able to find stone fruit, like juicy cherry. Citrus, like Cara Cara orange. Florals, like lilac. And a single origin dark chocolate. So I'm going to be in review, talk about flavor notes. Y'all can look down at your pad while you write. It's okay. Tactile, you should be able to find medium weight, a silky texture, and a long, beautiful finish, similar to the sensation of dark chocolate. So Jhonatan never planned on working in coffee, but he was open to change. He never wanted to grow Pacamara, but he was open to change. The coffee itself had to be open to change and fermentation. And because all of this, we get to enjoy an amazing experience today. So, like Jhonatan, in order to grow, we must be open to change. So for the milk course, we're going to start with flavor calls. If y'all could please go ahead and write down cooked cherry, marzipan, and once again, single origin dark chocolate that is so pronounced in this coffee that it's pervasive throughout all of this. For the milk course, I'm going back to Jhonatan's natural Pacamara, but I've increased the dose to 20 grams, which will tighten the ratio, just create a beautiful harmony between espresso and milk. I'm also using a 1:7 ratio of cryo-desiccated coconut milk, reconstituted in whole A2A2 milk. So for the milk course, we're going to look specifically at the growth of the industry, because I believe that the way that the industry is going to grow can be a result and a picture of how we, competitors and judges, have grown to new rule changes in the milk course itself. For 24 years of barista competition, we had 2 ingredients in this round, same rules, milk and coffee. But with the adaptation of alternate milks, it's become a challenge to wrap our heads around new flavor profiles. I believe doing so can only be good for the competition and can help us in 2 ways. Number 1, it just raises the excellence here. Competitors are able to tailor our coffees to the milk course better than ever, provide flavor combinations that were previously never possible in this course. And number 2, we're letting in more people. By adding in alternate milks, we create space for people who were dairy avoidant. I am a firm believer that more people means more diversity of thought. More diversity of thought is always a good thing. So judges, like the industry itself, in order to grow, we must be open to change. All right, so for the signature beverage course, we've talked a lot about growth and we've talked a lot about change. We've talked about it in Jhonatan, we've talked about it in the industry. I feel like it would be a little bit disingenuous of me to stand in front of you and tell you how I think about this idea all the time, but not try to pull back the curtain, show you how I'm also trying to grow. Not that I'm fully grown, but just to show you my process of becoming. So last year on this stage, I attempted a signature beverage that had a really similar flavor profile to this one. I think I just got a little bit lost in wanting it to appear complex or seem complicated in order to impress people. One of my favorite quotes is that hospitality is being creative and intentional in pursuit of relationships. So that's what I've really focused on this time. I've stripped a lot of the smoke show or the noise in order to create an exquisite beverage that connects with people. So in order to do that, I've hyper chilled my espresso, which is Jhonatan's natural Pacamara. Hyper chilling just reduces bitterness and increases sweetness. And to that, I'm going to add 10 mils of pineapple juice. Pineapple juice plays with that cherry note of the espresso to give us a brand new flavor note of strawberry. And next up, I'm adding 30 ml of coconut cream. This is going to play with the sweetness of the espresso. It will give us 2 new notes, one of marshmallow and another of coconut icing. And then next, I am adding 1 single drop of isoamyl acetate to 50 mils of water. Isoamyl acetate is created when you ferment grain at a high temperature but a low pressure. In beer, it's a defect, but in whiskey, it is one of the most sought after esters there is. So it's not necessarily about how the flavor is itself, it's about how it fits with the profile of a beverage and helps it to change. So I'm going to charge all of these with nitrous oxide. This just increases texture and emulsifies the drink, and shake 10 times. I'm going to go ahead and decant for you. And once again, those flavor notes are strawberry, marshmallow, coconut icing. The isoamyl acetate plays with the orange note of the espresso to give us bruleed banana, excuse me. And once again, single origin dark chocolate that is so prevalent in all of Jhonatan's coffee is going to shine throughout all of this. So we've talked a lot about growth, a lot about change. The way that I see that most prevalently in front of me every day is in leaves. I absolutely love fall foliage. I think it's beautiful. But every time I see it, I'm reminded that those beautiful colors are only there because the leaves themselves are open to change. They are letting go so that the life cycle of the plant can continue. And I think that's a beautiful idea. And that is why you have been served every course today on a Pacamara leaf from Jhonatan's farm. That Josiah, as a reminder, in order to grow, you must be open to change. That Jackson, in order to grow, you must be open to change. Sam, in order to grow, you must be open to change. Ivana, in order to grow, you must be open to change. My tech judges, Tarika, everyone out here who can hear me, in order to grow, we must be open to change. Time. Alabama to Raleigh.
Great job, man.
Thank you.
Great job. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah?
Thank you, Juan. Yeah, I feel really good about that.
So, being in semifinals, what was different from that first round?
Man, so this is the first time that I've ever competed 2 days in a row, and it's incredible to be able to go learn and then apply what you learned the very next day. So setup was completely different today. It like made it so much more smooth, easier, and it just put my mind right for the entire thing. So it all felt better.
I love the creativity of how you got the judges to actually drink the coffee, a statement. How did you come up with that?
I mean, it's just like call and response. And so it's like very normal, like growing up in a Southern Baptist church of like, peace be with you and also with you, or whatever it is. And so like things like that just inspired me to like have more of like a ritualistic together enjoying this.
Mm-hmm. Anyone you want to thank here? Or
oh, of course, my darling
Raleigh?
bride, Chris is here. She made it. So
Where the kiddos?
who?
No.
That didn't go well yesterday, if you didn't notice. Yeah, and everybody at Team Black and White, y'all have helped me out absolutely immensely. So couldn't be here without y'all.
Give it up one more time. Jake McFarland, Black and White Coffee Roasters, Raleigh.